Hey, what's up guys, my name is Lee. I'd like to welcome you back to this video where what we're going to do is we're going to continue in building up our normal maps. So, first things first, if you are inside 3ds Max and you have baked out a 4K resolution texture like this one, however, the detail is not so clear, like you can see here on mine, it may be that your display, the display of the text inside the viewport may be a little low. So before we jump ahead and just go ahead and start to dig into some of this normal map stuff, I just want to show you how you can go ahead and fix that issue. So what you need to do is inside the viewport, let's go under shaded and choose configure. And then we want to go under display and preferences, and here you can see that I've got the baked procedural maps, texture maps, and viewport background environment all set to 4096. If this is set to something lower, say for example you have the texture map set to something around 1024, that means that the highest resolution texture maps that you can see within the viewport is going to be 1024. So by increasing this resolution, you're going to get a much better and a much more crisp and clear texture in the viewport. Now, with that being said, let's jump ahead and get started. So I'm just going to jump over to Photoshop. Okay, and I'm just going to zoom in, and we need to go ahead and fix some of these issues. So if we looked at this, I believe there's some slight issues. There's like some slight redding inside inside here. So you can see here that it's showing up as these small anomalies here. It's quite small. I don't think it's going to be perceivable to the eye. So we're not going to go ahead and do anything with that actually. After taking a closer inspection of that, let's go ahead and have a look at these pieces. Again, these look to be about the same here. So we have no real issues we can deal with here. Now, one thing we can fix, if I remember correctly, is if we just jump over here, we can see that we have the slight issue where we have this nice smooth piece of geometry, or what appears to be a smooth piece of geometry here, but then we have this boxed outline. So if we go ahead and we put on the UVW and we open this up, so let's go ahead and choose open UV map, and we go ahead and select these pieces of geometry. We can see exactly where they are. So they're over here next to the circles. So what we can do is go over here and we can have a look at what's going on here. Oops. So you can see here that what's actually going on is that it has this smoothing issue right here. And so all we're going to do is we're going to press the I key to bring in the eyedropper. I'm going to select the color, and then I'm going to press the B key. I'm going to set this pretty low to like around 2, and I'm just going to paint this out. So something like this. So this is one of those videos where there's likely going to be a lot of silence, mainly due to the fact that this is going to take some time in producing a much higher quality texture, and yeah, it just takes time. So let's just go ahead and do this, and then press Ctrl S to save, and let's jump back over to Max and let's see the effect that that's had. Okay, so you can see that that's going to head and straighten that off. And what we can also do is we can go ahead and press the I key, and we can select one of these colors. I'm going to press the B key, and I'm going to make this nice and smooth. Make this a little larger. And I'm just going to paint out this extra detail here. So it looks like, let's see what's going on here. We want to use this. Okay, let's open up here. And it's like it's painted in black. Let's see, why is that? Okay, so press the B key, make sure we have the brush. Okay. Hopefully we can now go ahead and do that. Okay. Looks like we can. So let's go ahead and do the same thing over here and press B key. And let's just go ahead and erase this. Press save. And that should fix this side. We go over here. So you see that now we have nice straight edges, which is okay. And let's do the same thing over here. Let's just go ahead and erase this. Something like so. And let's take this and let's just open up our brushes. And let's give this a smooth, there we go. So it's to be nice and smooth. And we can get a bit of a transition here, which should help. Press save and let's see what that's done. So let's just sharpen that up. So that's just something that we can just experiment with here and just make a little easier for us to deal with. So it doesn't look so bad. So we just make some compromise here with the overall design. Now you can see that we're also getting this grade. I guess it's sort of like grade incorrect numbers. Now this is not that the number is incorrect. This is just the fact that there's no light in here. We're just using the default lit option. So you can see that these buttons here kind of look a little off. But that's not the case, because if we go over to the buttons, you can see that actually there's nothing in here. So what we can do is we can just paint everything out on this. So let's just paint all this away. So there's actually no data at all on the buttons, because we just want to keep them nice and smooth. So let's just go ahead and delete all of this by erasing all of the information. Okay, so we go ahead and press save, and we go back to the buttons, and you can see that actually it's just the same, but when there's no light in here, if we go ahead and add a light, you can see that we'll get an instant change. So let's go ahead and add a omni light into our scene. Let's go ahead and light this from the front, and let's go ahead and set this to be realistic. And let's turn shadows on for this. Press P. Okay. And let's go ahead and choose materials, realistic materials, and lighting. Okay, so you can see we get a much better result here. Alright, so moving on, let's see, what else do we need to fix? So the other thing we need to fix over here is this area on the speaker here. So let's just go ahead and paint this out. So this can just be pretty flat. It's going to be okay. Not too worried about that. And let's do the same over here. And that should fix those issues. Let's have a look at the side here. Yep, so this looks quite smooth. Alright, so let's have a look at adding some additional information to our texture here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and select one of these buttons here. So I'm going to select this one, And let's have a look. So it looks like this is the top right this way. So that helps us out. So what that means is that if we go ahead and open our reference, so let's go for just file, open, and I'm going to go ahead and choose old radio and choose reference. I'm going to select this. And if we have a look at what we have here, we have these options that says voice, solo, and I don't know what this is. Arches or something? Yeah, I think it says like arches. I think it's like short for like orchestra or something. Like maybe it's like an orchestra mode. So that being said, let's go ahead and add those in. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump back over to Max and we're gonna open our UV and we're gonna go to mapping and go ahead and choose render template. And I'm gonna choose 4096 by 4096. Choose render UV template, and let's go ahead and save this in here. Call this UV. Just gonna dump this out as a JPEG. Press OK. And go File, Open, and let's go to Textures and UV. Control C, and let's go over here and press Control V. Okay, so this one was, let me just see what it was, voice. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna press D, and I'm actually going to maybe multiply this over the top, or let's just change this so we can see this. Okay, so something like this. Okay, so create a new layer, and what's it called? Voice, VOICE. So Tohama actually looks like it's pretty good here. So I'm gonna go to Edit, Transform, and rotate this. So something like so. So let's move this in here. So we have voice, solo. Now let's just have a look at this. Yeah. So I'm gonna make this nice and big like this. So let's duplicate this, move this over. I'll call it solo. And move this down. Maybe up a little. We can just sort of play around with this a little. And move this one over and call this. Okay, arches. Okay, the problem here is that this is no longer capitals. So let's go ahead and change that. Solo, there we go. So we got solo, arches. Okay. And let's take this one and let's just scale this down just a little. I don't think it's going to be too noticeable. And let's place this into position. Solo and voice. Let's take solo. Let's move this a little. Okay, once we've done that, let's take all three of these and I'm going to rasterize the type. And I'm going to merge layers. And then I'm going to go ahead and choose right click. Go ahead and choose blending mode. So there we go, blending mode. And I choose bevel and emboss. And in the bevel is going to be pretty good. Let's move this. Actually, let's cancel this. Let's just do this. Let's just go to filter and let's go to 3D. And okay, let's actually create a white background here. And what we're going to do is we're going to merge these layers and then we're going to go to filter and 3D, and then generate normal map. And this is gonna go ahead and generate this normal map for us. Now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and choose texture, and so we can see what's going on here. So I'm just going to zoom in and move this over, and let's keep zooming until we get to where we want to be. Okay, so this looks as if it's protruding. So what we do is we want to go choose invert height, and that should push this in. I want to set the blur really low, and let's see, I think the detail scale, maybe let's see, a little lower or a little higher. Maybe not so high. We don't want this craziness here on the outside. So somewhere about that, everything's going to be okay. Now, once we do that, what we'll need to do is make a selection around these. So we can go ahead and select this, and then choose select, inverse, and delete that so we get the rest of the mesh. And then we can simply just go ahead and erase most of this. And then we can go ahead and merge the layer, and let's go ahead and choose File, Save As, and let's go ahead and choose Radial Normal and press yes. And let's jump into Max and see what this does. So it's like the texture is not updated, so let's just go ahead and update that manually. There we go. And let's see. Oh, okay. It looks like I was incorrect here. It looks like this. Let's undo this. Let's keep going. Okay, let's filter 3D, generate 3D. And it looks like it was already inverted the first time. I guess my perception here is a little off. So let's just go ahead and press OK. And then we can just go ahead and do the same thing. So select, inverse, delete, merge layers, file, save as. Radial normal, press yes. Okay, so now it's looks like it's correct. Looks like it's inside there. And let's have a look at our texture here. So we have voice. We can indent this. It looks like the rest of this is flat. Doesn't look like there's any details here on there. Okay. So I think that's it for adding the finer details. It was just this piece right here. So I'm just looking around, seeing if there's anything else we can add here. Let's have a look. And yeah, so I think that's about it. So now we've done that, we can now move on to the next step, which is looking at actually creating some texture information. So with that being said, I'd like to thank you for watching, and until next time, bye bye for now.